Virgil Abloh, fashion's highest profile black designer and the creative mind behind Louis Vuitton's menswear collections, died on Sunday of cancer. Abloh, who was American, had worked to transform the French luxury brand since being brought in as the men's artistic director in 2018. His arrival marked the marriage between streetwear and high-end fashion, mixing sneakers and camouflage pants with tailored suits and evening gowns. His influences included graffiti art, hip-hop, and skateboard culture, a style embraced by Louis Vuitton as it sought to attract younger customers. In July of 2021, parent company LVMH expanded his role to include launching new brands and partnering with existing ones in a variety of sectors beyond fashion. LVMH also bought a 60% stake in Abloh's Off-White label, which had folded into the parent company. Abloh, who was 41, had been battling a rare, aggressive form of cancer, cardiac angiosarcoma, according to a post on his Instagram page. LVMH chief executive Bernard Arnault said, quote, "Virgil was not only a genius designer, a visionary, he was also a man with a beautiful soul and great wisdom."
Looking at the mildness of the symptoms that we are seeing, currently there is no reason for panicking, as we don't see severely ill patients. I also checked with the hospital, some of the hospitals in my area, and one of the biggest hospitals, they only have one patient currently that's COVID positive on a ventilator, and they don't even know whether it's COVID, it's Delta, or whether it is Omicron related. We acknowledge that it might change going forward. But the hype that's been created currently out there in the media and worldwide doesn't correlate with the clinical picture. And it doesn't warrant to just cut us off from any traveling and ban South Africa as if we are the villains in the whole process. It should not be like that.
The new Omicron coronavirus variant kept spreading around the world on Sunday, with 13 cases found in the Netherlands and 2 each in Denmark and Australia. It came even as more countries tried to seal themselves off by imposing travel restrictions. The Dutch health minister said 13 cases of the variant were found among passengers who were on flights from South Africa that arrived in Amsterdam on Friday. Authorities had tested all of the more than 600 passengers on those 2 flights and had found 61 coronavirus cases, going on to test those for the new variant. First discovered in South Africa, the variant has now been detected in several countries around the world, from Germany to Australia to Israel. Last week, Omicron was dubbed a variant of concern by the World Health Organization. It sparked worries around the world that it could resist vaccinations and prolong the nearly 2-year COVID-19 pandemic. Omicron is potentially more contagious than previous variants, although experts don't know yet if it will cause more or less severe COVID-19 compared to other strains. However, the chair of the South African Medical Association, Angelique Coetzee, said in her experience its symptoms were mild.
There's no reason for panicking, as we don't see severely ill patients. It might change going forward. But the hype that's been created currently out there in the media and worldwide doesn't correlate with the clinical picture.
Countries have imposed a wave of travel bans or curbs on Southern Africa to try to stem the spread.
As the newest COVID-19 variant winds its way around the globe, health officials are warning Americans to prepare for Omicron.
It's almost definitely here already. Just looking at the number of cases coming off planes this weekend, it's almost a certainty that there have been cases that have gotten into the United States.
Former FDA Commissioner Scott Gottlieb said on CBS's Face the Nation on Sunday that while much is not known about the variant, vaccination remains key.
If you talk to people in vaccine circles, people who are working on a vaccine, they have a pretty good degree of confidence that a boosted vaccine, so 3 full doses of vaccine, is going to be fairly protective against this new variant.
30% of the U.S. population remains unvaccinated, possibly undermining the nation's recovery nearly 2 years after COVID-19's emergence. Rising cases as colder weather forces more people indoors have already overwhelmed some hospital systems and led some U.S. states, including New York, to declare emergencies. Omicron was first detected in southern Africa, igniting a flurry of travel bans restricting passengers from several southern African countries, something South African President Cyril Ramaphosa strongly pushed back against in a speech on Sunday.
These restrictions are completely unjustified and unfairly discriminate against our country and our southern African sister countries.
The variant has now been confirmed in Australia, Hong Kong, the UK, Europe, and the Middle East.
Australian police said on Sunday they expect to charge a woman with arson after she allegedly set fire to the hotel where she and her 2 children were quarantined. No one was injured in the fire, which gutted much of the 11th floor of the Pacific Hotel, Cairns, police said. More than 100 people were evacuated from the quarantine facility. The incident in Cairns, Queensland, occurred as tensions rose in parts of Australia as a result of coronavirus restrictions and the latest scare caused by the emergence of the Omicron variant. Acting Chief Superintendent Chris Hodgman said the 31-year-old woman was in custody and police were caring for her children. He said the woman had been in quarantine for a couple of days and there had been issues with her that authorities were, quote, managing.